trigonometry ratios. There's a phrase you can remember. The phrase is called SOHCAHTOA. So what exactly is SOHCAHTOA? Well, sine ratios consist out of three main, or actually 6 functions. So let's do sine is equal to the opposite over the hypotenuse, right? OH. Then we have cosine is equal to adjacent over hypotenuse. And then we have TOA, which is tangent, is equal to my opposite over adjacent. Now, how do we find the adjacent, hypotenuse, and the opposite? Well, to find the hypotenuse, we can simply look across the right triangle, which would make it the hypotenuse, right? Or it's the longest side of the triangle. So if we have 3, 4, 5, which side is the longest? Well, it would be 5, right? So therefore 5 would be the hypotenuse. Now let's understand what these words firstly mean. So if I have two people standing next to each other, they are said to be standing adjacent to one another. If I have person A standing and looking across to person B, well, they are said to be opposite one another. So what we need to do is we need to identify theta, or the angle given. The angle can be A, B, C, theta, alpha, whatever. So let's see, what's looking across theta? Well, we know now that would be the opposite. And next to theta, we have the adjacent side. That's how we can easily identify trig ratios. So let's do an example. Okay, let's move to the side. Let's do an example. Let's use theta at the bottom corner. Then we have 5, 4, and 3. Now they ask us to find sine of theta, cosine of theta, and tangent of theta. Okay, well, I've said, let's label these things. Let's label each side first. Across from the right angle is my hypotenuse. Opposite would be away from theta. And then right next to theta is the adjacent side. Now, if we use SOHCAHTOA, or we can see sine is opposite. So it's going to be sine of theta is 4 over hypotenuse, 5. What about cosine theta? Well, cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse. So adjacent is 3 over 5. And then we have tangent theta, which is then my opposite over my adjacent. So it's going to be 4 over 3.